How you doing, guys? It's Richie. Invisibleman, issue number 3. This is a Image Skybound series written by James Tynion, the 4th. And the artist is Dani. I'm one of them guys who thinks he's Sting or Prince, or I don't know why they do that. Just tell us your name. Stop with the theatrics. I like the cardstock covers. Now, this is the first issue number 1 and issue number 2. Great. This is one of the better series in the Universal Monsters. I read Frankenstein, which was great. I did a video on that. Creature from the Black Lagoon, not too crazy about it. It wasn't horrible, but it's not something I would read again. Invisibleman, I love. Absolutely love. So, James Tynion and Dani making comics. So, it starts off the Invisibleman in his neck of the woods. He's walking around. You and your imagination, it's just the fog and heat doing things to your mind. She says, I'm telling you, up in Vanish she did. I don't like it. All sorts of madmen around here, and you damn well know it. The usual sort of madmen. All frothing from the mouth, enough to pay the bills. So they're street girls. I feel bad for them, but... And he says, pardon me, saints preserve us. Lord, you gave us a fright. I didn't see you there, governor. But can you see us? It's hard enough to make out anything with our eyes wide open. I can see just fine. Maybe you're looking for company? Nah, not tonight. So he's going to his room there, where he has his kid tied up in bed, and he's gagged, and he just says, quiet. So this guy's a psychopath, man. Pure psychopath. Invisible Man, chapter 3, Things Worse Than Death. So here he is with his girl, and she's starting to feel like he's getting cold to her, and she knows there's something wrong, but here he is again, fantasizing. Now, he's sitting with the woman he supposedly loves, and all he can think about is jamming her in the neck with an ice pick and watching her bleed out. Like, that's what he's dreaming about. So he's a sick pup, even before he took the serum. So I'm sure it's no shocker to you, the Invisible Man. I'm sure most of you have at least heard the story. But I decided to watch the old black and white movie. And it's because issue number 4 has been out already. And I love that it takes place directly after issue 4. So this is the prequel to the Invisible Man. This is so well done. And the art fits the story. Not the best, but it goes nicely with the story. So here he is fantasizing about ice picking the love of his life. And they're just drinking tea or whatever on a hot summer day. So here he is. He's back in his laboratory. Even in the dead of night, the stench of animal carcasses and chemical fumes scraped my nostrils and burned my eyes. The work has been progressing nicely for weeks. My subjects were regularly achieving full invisibility, and I had begun to perfect my formula. I had been anxious about how it would scale to a larger, more complex organism. So cats and dogs is what he started with. But where to begin? I craved change in myself. I found myself practicing invisibility. So he's getting ready to test it on himself. He's walking around as if he were invisible. How would he be able to blend in with society? Because you can't just walk around naked all the time. So he covers up his face, just like in the movie, the old black and white. Occasionally I would walk into a pub and sit at a corner table watching others come and go. I would sit very still, and as long as I didn't draw attention to myself, I was unbothered. So I see he's all wrapped up. And he's just watching normal people in the world interact. He goes, I imagine following them to their homes, observing them at their most vulnerable. So here he is, and he still has these violent fantasies, psychopathic fantasies about following patrons of the bar home and murdering them. So it's not like, oh, I want to become invisible so I can steal money or do this and do that. I think he just wants to become invisible so he could kill at will. I wanted it badly, but there were still too many unknowns. He's not fully sure if he could survive an injection of the serum in its current form. Jack, I'd like a word. I've been reviewing the chemical orders and I'm concerned. So this is the guy funding the product, funding his research. They say it can cultivate a manic, violent form of psychosis that even handling it is a precarious prospect. And he says, well, we handle a lot of dangerous stuff to ends that I approve and monitor, Jack, so I can be certain that the dangers are being outweighed by the benefits. So he's basically telling them, listen, we're going to cut back on some of this stuff. He's giving them 2 months. I'll give you 2 months. If you can't produce a result, then I'm cutting you off. And he tries to argue, but the guy says, no, that's it, 2 months. So now he's under the wire. So he's going to take more chances and maybe not make the serum exactly what it should be. I had little money to myself. Kemp had some small fortune to lean on, but I had long been at the mercy of Cranley's generosity. So here he is sitting now amongst elites, and they have no idea there's a potential future serial killer in their midst. And the guy who's funding his research basically owns him. He pays for his apartment, all his work. And he says, not nearly enough to continue my work without his patronage. To complete my work, I need privacy. So he rents a room. And I saw the subject that could give me the results I would need to show chronically. So he's looking at all the undesirables of the area, like you would find in any big city, the drunks, the prostitutes, the derelicts. And he happens upon this young man or young boy. Young man, what's your name? Your name, Tommy. How would you like to earn a few meals, Tommy? And he goes, what kind of person do you think I am? He thinks he's trying to pick him up for sex. He said, you have the wrong idea. I'm a scientist. I need help. And he says, I don't know nothing about no science. And he says, I know enough for the two of us. So right there, I guess back then, serial killing and the dangers of strangers wasn't as prevalent as it is today. Like even from when I was a kid in the late 70s, we could go out. Like me and my older brother, was 7, he was 10, 11. We go out all day, wander around town, wander into other towns, go to comic book place, picking up comics, going to eat, like no supervision, nobody worried. It just wasn't happening back then. It was safer. So here he is. Why don't you have a little drink? Is this wine? He says, hey, cheers. And he goes, oh, it's sweet. Boy, mister, it's going right to my head. It seems like something he would do to a woman. Try to pull a roofie on her or something. You might want to sit down. So he drugs him. Now he's laying in bed, and he goes, Mister, what are these? He says, merely a precaution. He's got him chained up to the bed. It didn't work, not to the degree I wanted to, but I can see what's missing now, how to finish the formula. He goes, I feel awfully strange. What did you do to me? He says, not nearly enough. See for yourself. So here's the first human that's testing out his serum. And it took away all his skin. And the kid's freaking out, man. Can you imagine? Like, I thought this was terrifying when I first read it. The book actually made me feel bad for the kid. And that's good storytelling when you hate the people in the book, you love the people in the book. You know, when a story makes you feel, it's a good story. I felt really bad for this kid, man. I thought it was just really creepy what was going on. And he says, quiet, you fool. Do you think what we'll think if a policeman were to come now? What'd you do to me? I'm some sort of terrible monster. What did you do? And the kid's breaking down. During the day, he'd leave him gagged, drugged, and bound so he couldn't raise an alarm. It had only taken a few days for him to realize that resisting me was a fool's errand. So, man, look at this. This is creepy. Like, look at this panel. Poor kid just giving up. He's just an experiment. He's a rat in a cage right now, and he knows it. So he continues. Over the weeks, I would say I even grew affectionate toward the slowly disappearing boy. Now, he was able to make the muscles disappear, so now they're down to the skeleton. The kid's becoming smarter, though. That's part of the serum, what it does. He goes, I suppose it was the monocaine sharpening his mind, but I welcomed it and encouraged it. After months, now he's got this kid chained up in his room for months. After months of working in silence, it was good to speak my methods aloud. Only one of the boy's questions stopped me in my tracks. He wanted to know how the process could be reversed. And that almost drove the guy insane. He's mad hearing that because there is no reverse. He said, but I stayed quiet. That power would never be his to wield. I proved the formula could work on a human form. Here we go. Now he says his eyes were the last to go. That's a creepy panel. I would give him one final night and then dispose of him, as I had many strays before. So he's planning on killing this kid. Comes in the next day, Tommy, kid's gone. He chewed himself out of the restraints. And there he is behind him. Now he's invisible. So he cracks the doctor with the mirror. Takes his hat, takes his glasses, and his outfit. And he's gone to the races. This was crazy. That poor kid. Can you imagine the terror that kid must have felt? Being locked in that basement, being experimented on, having your skin removed, having your muscles removed, with just your eyes, and then completely invisible. So now the kid's out and about, and the doctor's got to figure out something. Issue number 4 coming up soon. I'll do a flip through of it. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I will see you on the next one.